All right, I am not the person that you are here to listen to. There, we've got a fantastic array of speakers. And the first of these speakers to give our opening address this morning is Mike Wheeler. Now, Mike is the Director of Community Services for the City of Cabot in Arkansas. And over the last 14 years, he has been dedicated to animal welfare and public safety while reducing euthanasia and promoting responsible pet ownership laws. Under Mike's management, the city-operated open admissions shelter takes in over 3,000 animals a year with a 2020 live release rate of 98.6%. And this counts every animal the organisation touches. So it's incredible statistics there. Mike's passion for animal welfare and public policy has driven him to his position of President of the Arkansas State Animal Control Association. In this capacity, he trains animal control officers and assists animal service departments across, that's tricky, Nell, the flip page there, across the state, write and implement new laws dedicated to higher standards for animal welfare and public safety. Mike's philosophy is one that is based on continuous learning in an ever-changing world, and Mike has completed bachelor's degrees in criminal justice and business administration with a master's degree in public administration. So I can think of no one better than to open our event today than Mike Wheeler with his keynote address on the animal management and welfare puzzle. Welcome, Mike.
Wow, that's bright. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Simone, Nell, everybody for inviting me to Australia. It's an amazing place here on the coast. I hope I can visit more. So we'll start. My slides are very busy. You'll notice that. They will have a lot of words on them. And that's because I sit in these chairs at conferences all over the United States, and I take pictures of slides, and then I go back and say, why did I take that picture? I have no idea. It's a puppy with somebody holding it. So I speak different. So in case you don't understand me, the words are all here. All right. So wow. Okay. So that's me. The only key thing here is my email address and my phone number. The rest of that is just accolades that I don't deserve. I'm just somebody that goes to work every day. So these are all the organizations I'm part of, but my email and my cell phone number you can reach me at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we'll go through that a little bit later. So we look at this, and who are we? We, in the animal welfare puzzle. Now, we use animal welfare in the United States. I know y'all use animal management and other names here, so I'll bear with me as I struggle through this. But who are the we? We are the national organizations. We are the animal management. We are the rescues. We are the humane societies. We are the animal shelters. We're the government. And we are the community. That is the we of animal welfare. So we're going to take a journey through each one of these because I think it's important that we understand what each one of us represent and our base desire to make animal welfare better across the United States and now in Australia as well. And I don't know if I have to hold this up every time I do it, but it makes me feel better. Government animal management, the primary roles of animal control, government operated or privately contracted, public and animal safety, law enforcement, investigate complaints from the public. Any of y'all get complaints from the public? I get complaints from the public. Barking dogs is my nemesis. I don't know if y'all have that problem here. None of y'all's may bark. In Arkansas, every one of them barks. And other agencies regarding nuisance, stray, uncontrolled, dangerous, or diseased animals. We conduct investigations of those complaints regarding animal cruelty, neglect, investigating animal bites, arranging for appropriate identification and quarantine. We also keep the government informed, right, on current state of animal welfare, animal management in our area. And we help keep families together through a variety of programs. And those programs will differ based on your organization and your location. The government animal shelter. Primary role, that's government operated or private contract. Provide a healthy, safe, clean, and pleasant environment and facilities for the animals and the public. Provide adoption services for the pets in our care. Keep government informed on current state of animal welfare. And keep families together through a variety of programs. And I go through these pretty quick, so there's lots of slides, and they give me 45 minutes, so we're going to try. Humane societies. Primary role of humane society, most commonly recognized for operating shelters for abandoned, malnourished, and abused animals. And they've got a goal of ending the cruelest practices toward all animals. They also keep the government informed on the current state of animal welfare. And they also help keep families and pets together. Rescues. Provide care for abandoned animals. Provide adoption services for pets in our care. Keep the government informed on the current state of animal welfare. The government gets a lot of information from a lot of people, and every one of you are responsible for providing that information. But they also keep families together through a variety of programs. Government. Government has a large role, correct? They fund government-operated and contracted animal management and animal shelters. They enact laws for public and animal protection. And they enact legislation for public and animal quality of life. That one's new. It is in America. It's new. Government never thought about the quality of life for animals, but they do now. And that is a big role. But nobody has a bigger role than the community. Without the community, we could not do our jobs. They elect our government officials. They elect the folks who give us our budgets, who put us in the floodplain or in the worst piece of property on the face of this earth, because that's where all government shelters are put, lowest valued land. But without them, we wouldn't even have that. They're the eyes and the ears of government and government ACOs and shelters. Without them, we don't go out on any calls. We don't know about a stray dog. We don't know about a dog bite. We don't know anything. They provide life-saving support for the ACOs, the shelters, humane societies, and rescues. They provide the fostering. They provide the volunteering. They pick up stray animals for us, and they bring them to us. And they help us keep families together through a variety of programs at our shelters and the ACOs. National organizations. These are the large organizations such as brought us all together here today. They provide advancement of animal management and welfare, providing legislative advocacy. They go to bat for us. When we don't have the funding because we're a small organization, and I'm one of the smallest organizations there is in my country, just so you know. We have a population of 26,000. May seem like a lot here in America. Well, from the speakers coming, I'm the small place. I'm just a little country town. But they step up on our behalf, and they provide the funding and to legislate for new laws. They provide advancement in animal management and welfare through education and programming, through us all getting here together and learning from each other. They've provided that. They provide advancement in animal management and welfare through specialized and pointed funding. We call those grants. Some of those are sponsorships, some of those are grants, some of those are internal, some of those are external. And they provide emergency support and resources during man-made and natural disasters. We all know the natural disasters, they come forward and they help us in those, But what about those large hoarding cases of 383 dogs? They step forward and help with that as well. So what do we say? We say they don't care as much as we do. They. We all already talked about we are the we in animal welfare. So who's the they in animal welfare? They are the national orgs. They're the animal control. They're the rescues. They're the humane societies. They're the government. They're the animal shelter. They're the community. Facebook huge here? Any of y'all get very bad reviews on Facebook? I do. It happens. You know, some of my best people that love to hate me are on Facebook. And they're very loud. Well, 81.9% of your population is on Facebook. It's your largest social media platform you have in this country. 21.9 million users. So I would say it's very popular. Instagram is a second, but it's a little bit down there at 53.9%. So on social media, as I went through some of yours, I don't know who all you are individually, but as I went through a lot of social media for Australia, it pretty much lined up with the same social media issues we have in America. So I ask you, have you heard this? Maybe you've said this. Maybe you posted this. Government animal management refuses to do their jobs and just don't care. Any of y'all said that? I have. I'm on camera. I'm admitting it. Rescues only want the cute, cuddly dogs that leave us with the large, unadoptable dogs. Any of y'all ever said that? Any of you ever heard that? National organizations only care about large shelters that will get them splashy headlines and marketing and fundraising. Any of y'all ever heard that? Any of y'all ever said that? This is a safe place, just so y'all are aware. There is no judging here, because every one of these I have said. Humane societies only take in the easy-to-adopt animals, leaving the rest for us. Yet they get all the donations because they say they're better than us. At the shelter level, we always looked at, we're here, and the public perception is the humane societies are better than us, right? I don't know who started that rumor. I'm assuming it was an assumption of mine that when I posted this, that it was the Humane Society who was putting out there how bad we were so they would get more donations. So government animal shelters just give dogs away and don't care about them or where they go. Probably used as bait dogs in animal fighting. Free adoptions, that was a taboo here in America 10 years ago. Now it's everywhere. And we no longer have that stigma. We still get the comments, though. Local government doesn't care. I've called them 100 times and nothing's been done. Okay, folks, I know y'all have all said that. 100%. Come on, folks. I've said that, and I work for government. The citizens of this town don't deserve a dog. They're ignorant and just don't care about their pets. We won't adopt to them. I see a lot of heads shaking. That was me at one time. 100% did not want a single one of our dogs to go back into the community because we see what we classify as the worst of the worst. And I challenge y'all in the fact that you see the worst situations, but you're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it as a fault of the individual rather than something you can assist society with. So that's a tough one for me. I've learned lots of lessons on that one, and we'll try to go through a couple of those. All these comments, they fracture animal management, animal welfare. The negativity destroys us. Leave the negative marketing to the politicians. I will admit I didn't do my research on the political atmosphere of Australia. But in America, we have a lot of politicians and we have a lot of negative campaigns. And since people are people all over this world, I'm going to assume y'all have the same negative campaign. But you know, one person will win the election, but all politicians suffer from the lack of public trust from that campaign. Same goes for animal welfare and animal management. Public trust is fragile. And if we beat up on each other, all we're doing is continuing tearing animal welfare apart. We can do such wondrous things if we just work together. So, how do we put it back together? There are several ways of doing this. It starts by working together. We all want the same things, right? We all want to save lives and keep families together. When I ask this question, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just quietly leave. Anybody in here not want to save lives and keep families together? Not even a single head shake. Wonderful group of people you got here, Neil. All right, we can elevate animal management and animal welfare. I will tell you when I started, and we're recording, but I'm going to say it anyway. When I started, I was an animal control officer shoveling shit out of a kennel. Okay, that's what I did for $9 an hour. So, was that a very glorious job? It wasn't. Was it looked down upon? It was. Is it still today? In many areas. So it's up to us to elevate that. My grandma always said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. You know how much quieter Facebook would be if we just went off of that? And how about we talk about the positives of we? If we all praised each other and the work we're doing, then we'd be unstoppable. Raise your hand in here if any time in the last 5 years your organization had negative comments on Facebook about you. Keep your hand raised if you came to the support of that agency on Facebook. There's a lot fewer hands. If you came in and you said, you know what? I know Cabot, Arkansas does a great job. I know this organization does a great job. It means a lot when it comes from another organization because you're not individuals at that point. We are a collective. So next thing you need to do is build your army of support. And for those non-military people here, I do apologize. I was in the Army. It's the way it works. Within the community, build that support. And within your government, you have to build support. So we're going to try something here. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to, this is an American number, by the way, it's mine. Text your name and your organization name to that number. And what I will do from that, I've now expanded my army. I now have my Australian army. So if I ever cut the ear off a cat again, again, you hear that again, it's happened. And it's teaching veterinarians, and the ear tip went a little drastic, and the other cat's ear was a little taller than normal. And I need assistance, then I can reach out to you. And I challenge each of y'all when you're here this week to get names and phone numbers of people you can reach out to and say, hey, we're having a little bit of an issue here. We talked about this. Do you mind helping us out? Now, if you're going to prison, I'm not going to come help you. Okay? I will be a pen pal, though, and I will send you a letter. So don't do anything wrong, but I will help you. If you need my assistance over in America, if you think an American organization vouching on your Facebook page on your behalf will help you, I will do it. My state association will do it. And if you're not doing anything wrong, even the National Animal Control Association, which I'm on the board member, will do it. And that's how we help each other. So when I started out over 14 years ago, I started, like I said, in kennels. 2 years later, I became the director. And at that point, we were euthanizing close to 70% of all of our animals. And I had to come up with a plan to stop that. First of all, and I wrote it down. One day I wrote it down, and I still use that same plan today. And that's my community acceptance plan, because I knew without the community, I would not be where I need to be. So be everywhere. Be available. Care about all people. Do as I do, not as I say. That's different than what your parents said, right? Okay? And remember that you are no one. That one bothers people because we're taught today to look in the mirror and say, Mike Wheeler, you are amazing. Right? So we'll get to it. To be everywhere. My goal on being everywhere and anywhere that I might educate just one person on the benefits of creating a healthy community, or humane community, that focuses on public safety and forward-thinking animal welfare that supports the human-animal bond. One person at a time. Not a big public campaign, one person at a time. I put together what I call an infiltration calendar, and now you see where the Army comes in. My goal was to infiltrate the community, infiltrate the city government, to where they did what I needed them to do without me yelling, screaming, kicking, fighting, going public. I'm at 5 minutes already? Oh, whew. Okay, thank you. Wow, I talked longer than I thought. Okay. So every week on my calendar, I use Google Calendar, I visit the city government building. I take all the bills I have to send them, and I find another reason to stop in there to talk to somebody. Doesn't matter what the reason is. I could see a pothole I want to just go up there and talk to somebody about. That's a legitimate reason, is it not? I call every department head once a week. Department heads and being the chief of police, the fire chief, the public works director. I call them to ask a question about what's coming in on the corner, about the pothole. Can I help them? You know, maybe they're doing a fundraiser. Can my organization help them? But I call them. Why? I need that relationship. This one here is scientifically proven to work. Lots of data went in this one. I take a dozen donuts to local real estate offices, 4 of them, by the way, every week on their meeting day. Anybody here not like donuts? I'm going to change your mind here in just a second. The scientific part is, this is the combination you have to use. 6 glazed, 3 chocolate covered, and 3 blueberry cake. And the rationale behind that is, as we get more and more fit in today's society, some people just have to have something sweet in the morning. And there's some of us just can't go without chocolate. But then there's those healthy folks who get up and run up and down this beach every morning. That's not me, but I'm watching them. Just in case they fall out, I'm going to go help them. But the blueberry cake, they will eat that because it has blueberries and it's healthy for them. Okay? So that combination, I go back, there's never one left. So you can do all the fancy ones with sprinkles and all that, and they look pretty in the box, but they still look pretty in the box after they're done. So anyway, twice a month, I attend some city meetings. I stop by the American Legion Post 71 to visit the veterans of foreign wars. Voting public is typically your elderly. Some of the most respected folks in your community are veterans of wars. So if you go there, these folks will stand beside you, and they will stand up for you. And I also provide programming at the Cabot Senior Center. This is where our elderly go to play bingo. It's huge. I don't know. To dance, to sew, to go on active hikes, things of that nature. But I take puppies and kittens and have puppy parties and kitten parties. We also take our snakes, our tarantulas. Don't take some of y'all's. I've heard about them. But these are the elderly folks who are going to come to my defense, right? Because One thing I've learned about the elderly, and I'm there so I can say this, is they speak their mind, right? They will walk into that government official's office and tell them they're really screwing up. And nothing is said. They're respected. Take advantage of that. Keeps going monthly. I attend more council meetings. I attend other commission meetings. Wastewater, Planning Commission, county meetings, Chamber of Commerce meetings, festival meetings. These are on my calendar. You would hate to see my calendar. It is a disaster. But I am there. And now that Zoom is on, you have Zoom here. Yes, okay. I didn't tell anybody in America you had Zoom, so I'm not hitting any meetings this week. I've been more meetings. So but it keeps going, guys. This is what it is. I attend all these cultural meetings and Cabot City Beautiful meetings. I provide animal control officer training. Whoa, I got loud all of a sudden. I provide animal control officer training for other departments. Once a quarter, they come to my place and I train them. Free. Because if they're better, I'm better. If their organization is lifted up and more is expected of theirs, then my public expects more of ours. And we're all better when everybody rises up. I set up a booth twice a year at our government conference. We have a state conference every year where all the mayors and city councilmen, everybody goes. I set up booths there. I speak at all the clubs, the Kiwanis Club, Lions Club, Rotary Clubs, Boy Scout troops. All the civic organizations, they love speakers. Matter of fact, they are dying to have speakers every month. So go to those. These are just my scheduled priorities. I mean, this wasn't on my schedule when I started out the year. So thank you all for allowing me to come. There's also numerous events, speaking engagements, pop-up meetings that I get invited to every month. So be available. As a leader, you should be the face of your organization. Everybody should be able to talk to you if they feel the need to. Provides people with a level of comfort in knowing that you truly care and take your responsibility as a public servant very seriously. Lots of words here, folks. I told you, take a picture. But I also give out my cell phone work number, and I have since the day I started. So far, I've given out over 14,000 business cards with my cell phone number on it. It was scary, folks. It really was. 2 o'clock phone calls in the morning because the dog's running loose. That lasted 6 months, and now I get very few calls. But I'm available if they need me. Never pass the buck. If somebody calls and they want to talk to me, I call them back. Can I help them with every single situation? No. But I'm going to call them back and then let them know who's going to help them. I'm not going to send one of my employees to say call them back. They call to talk to me. They deserve that call back. They don't deserve to be treated like they're not worth my time. There'll come a time when you're contacted about items that aren't in your department. I get contacted about roads, stoplights, what's going on with the next building, new building coming in. I could easily just say, oh, you need to call this number. But this goes back to earlier in my plan where, why don't I call and get the information? Because now I'm talking to department head that I'm already supposed to be calling anyway. And then I call them back and I give them information and say, here's this information. I called Public Works and got it for you. You're more than welcome to call me, but if you'd rather, the situation is typically a Public Works call. Being available also means speaking at events when you're asked to that's outside your comfort zone. In the United States, we have 2 political parties, mainly. We have Republicans and Democrats. Every year, I speak at both the Republican Convention in Arkansas and the Democratic Convention in Arkansas, because I'm going to need both sides at one time or another. And there's not a person in that room I speak to that can tell me they hate dogs and don't like people. So I can corner any one of them, and they all love animals, just like that person you interview. I'm in it because I love animals, right? So I go with that. Care about all people. Your compassion must include all people, not just those in your circle of, no, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Appreciate it. Kind, somebody thinking about me up here. Thank you. We all have a circle. We have those that are really close to us, and then we have that expanded circle, and then we have those that are a little further out. You are all in my circle, and I would trust y'all with my life today. There are those that aren't in our circle, but we have to care about them as well. People face enough hate and judgment throughout their lives on a daily basis. Don't add to that. Make sure everyone feels that you truly care about them as a person. Thank you. People are a lot like cats. Yes, I said the word cats. Okay. We're very social people by nature. We thrive in social environments while searching for acceptance and support. It's our desire to be accepted that brings people together. It makes our job easier. If you show that you care beyond the courtesy hello, how many of y'all walk into a place, an animal shelter, city hall, government, and all they say is hello? Whatever happened to, how are you doing today? Thanks for coming in. Hello is a greeting. It's just not a greeting that shows you care. So be inclusive in all areas of your work. This goes beyond appearances, assumptions, and beliefs. This goes to a person's heart. And everybody has good within them. No matter the situation, it's your choice. It is our choice of whether we're going to focus on the good or the bad. Always focus on the good. It's much more rewarding, and it shows people that once again you truly care about them. Do as I do, not as I say. Once again, lots of words. My philosophy is you work harder than everybody else you know. You work harder than your employees. You work harder than other directors. You work harder than your city officials. And people will see how hard you work. This includes all aspects of your job, not just because even the small things matter. Pick up the piece of trash in the parking lot, for example. It's what you do when people aren't looking that defines who you are. Be ethical in all you do. Ethics is big to me. It's a big one for me. I got my job because my director at the time decided he liked the donation money more than the shelter needed it. So what do? You turn them in. That's what you do. And then you have to apply for the job. You have to sit through 4 interviews. And then by the grace of God, you get the job. But be ethical. Because unethical behavior forms a crack in people's perception of you. And that crack allows doubt about your ability and your character to creep in. Never use an excuse. Own up to it. If you did it, you did it. People are forgiving. Our public is a lot more forgiving than we expect them to be. So excuses are just opportunities to enhance failure. Instead, evaluate perceived shortcomings and failures and find ways to improve yourself, your actions, and the work you're doing. You can always do better. No one is perfect. And then I always like to look to the words of others for guidance. This is for internal improvement. This isn't for me to share with my staff, my co-workers. 100% internal. It could be quotes from somebody you consider very important to you. It could be a national leader. It could be a religious document. There are words out there to fit every situation you can come across. I personally like Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and my Bible. But everyone needs to find their own guidance that helps them with hope. Because remember, you are no one. Arrogance is frowned upon by most people. We all know arrogant people. Politicians are typically arrogant, correct? And we despise most politicians. Do not tell them that publicly. Okay, that takes the whole plan I just gave you out the window. So, keep yourself humble. Be thankful every day for what you have, including your job. Sometimes it's best not to speak rather than insert yourself into a conversation and make somebody else feel bad about who they are. Never consider yourself an expert in anything. This allows you to always be looking for a better way of doing something. Keep in mind that if you were an expert, you would have reached your full potential, and then none of you would be here today, because we're all still looking to learn, and there's something we can learn every day. A humble leader is one that thanks people every day for the opportunity to serve them. People are more likely to stand up beside you if they're actually standing beside you as equals, rather than looking up at you on your pedestal. Sun Tzu, told you I like Sun Tzu. The real art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Facebook is fighting. If you're responding on Facebook with negativity, then you're losing the war. The wise warrior avoids the battle. It's easy to love your friends, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. This is not a me problem. It's a we problem. And together we can make a difference and will make a difference. If we do it better in Australia and in the United States, then communities, organizations, and countries around the world will take notice and demand change. So we're going to remain judgment-free. Judging individuals without truly knowing them, their lives, their challenges, their successes, leads to poor decisions and barriers to success within your community. I'm going to take a drink before the next one, folks. Because now I'd like to talk about Ginger. It's hard to see up there, but Ginger's head fills the entire screen. So let's talk about the facts about Ginger as I saw them. She was 7 years old. She weighed 65 kilos. For my American friends, it's 144 pounds. She was neglected by overfeeding. Owner was a 94-year-old woman, kept fried chicken with her, so the dog would stay by her side all day. Ginger had urinated where she laid. The 94-year-old woman's daughter called me and thought it was cruelty to allow the dog to get this overweight. I agreed. I got a search and seizure warrant signed by the judge to take the dog. Here's the real facts about the case. Ginger loved this woman, and this woman loved Ginger. I seized Ginger on April 12th, 2013. It was 3 years and 7 months as an officer, 3.5 months as director. I placed Ginger on a diet because what? I'm the expert, right? So I placed Ginger on the diet and exercise program that included water exercises. After 1 week, Ginger stopped trying to walk. After 2 weeks, Ginger no longer smiled or wagged her tail, and I had 2 people sitting with her 12 hours a day trying to improve her mood. On May 8th, 2013, Ginger died. 26 days at my shelter. On May 26, 2013, the 94-year-old woman died. I told you own your mistakes. This is one of mine. Here's what I believe now. Ginger died of a broken heart. 94-year-old woman died of loneliness. Both are my fault. I did that. Nobody else, because I was the expert and I knew better than they did. So I did that. So here's what I'm saying. This is my cross to bear. Now, Ginger stays on my desk in my office. She has since the day this happened. And only leaves when I speak at conferences. Then she stays in my hotel room. I've never taken her in the conference room before. She's my reminder that people and animals need each other. And who am I to interrupt that bond? So I'd like to thank you all. And once again, here's my contact information.
Wow, that was really something, Mike. Thank you for sharing a presentation that I think is not just about approaches to animal welfare, but really fundamentally, I think, an approach to life and how we could all be a little bit better. And thank you especially for allowing yourself to be so vulnerable in front of a room of strangers, but as you say, it's a safe space. I think it's really hard, particularly in this era of judgment and criticism, and even when you're doing everything right, someone's going to call it out as wrong. And so to have the bravery to present that to us and let us all experience that with you, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house just now. So thank you so much, Mike. Just a reminder, if you are going to text Mike, don't forget the +1 for the US area code. And his number again, so that's +1 501 743 1438. Did I get that right? Yes, otherwise you're texting some random person in the US, but that's Mike's number. Now, a quick question before we launch into the next presentation. This time I'm going to give out a brolly, so I'm not going to throw it. Although I could, that would be fun. Okay, so my question, and again, it's first person to answer correctly. My question is, what is Mike's scientifically proven donut ratio to take with you on visits? Got an answer at the front here. That was 6 glazed, 3 chocolate, and 3 blueberry cake. Well done. What was your name? What was your name? Sorry. Laura from Pet Rescue. Well done, Laura. Look, this is just a little throw. We can do this, Laura. Well done.